Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell, because what I do here is all about Cardano, the Cardano ecosystem, and taking a look at Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency space at times as well. And today will be one of them. We'll start out by looking at the mid-month update from IOHK. They give us an idea of when we might have the PAB, which I've mentioned in recent videos. It is something that the dApps need before they go live on top of Cardano, so we'll talk about that. Also looking at the Bitcoin ETF that it looks like it has now been approved and will start trading next week, so we'll talk around that, the good points of it, and also looking at that it does bring a bit more manipulation into the market, but we will talk about that as well. So if you get some value, please do give the video a like. Let me know your own thoughts below and share it out there as well. And as you can probably hear as well, I'm still struggling to get over this head cold. So the audio, apologies if it is a little bit off, but let's get into it. Okay, so we'll start out here looking at the mid-month update, and as usual I will put timestamps down below for anyone who wants to jump to certain sections. So this part here of the video that I've paused it on is actually a really good place to take a look for anyone who wants to understand how this all plays together, why the PAB, the PAB, is such a big part of dApps and why they need it to interact with the chain. Goes through the whole process of off-chain, on-chain, everything like that. So the links to this will be down below. Cutting straight to it then, the PAB, when we're going to see it. So there is a maintenance release coming out in the next few weeks by the end of October. That's not the PAB. They do say in this video here that after that maintenance release, the PAB should be out within a few weeks. So realistically, we're looking at mid-November to the end of November before we get a PAB on Cardano. And this is something, as I say, dApps do need this to interact with the chain. They also cover in the video here that yes, dApps could launch without the PAB, but in reality, most are going to wait for that because they need that. It makes things an awful lot simpler on the side of the dApps. And from everything that I understand, it really is the correct way to do it. So I wouldn't expect to see any major dApps like Dexes or money markets before the very earliest mid-November to the end of November. Yes, look, I'm as disappointed as anyone else that we don't have it yet, especially when the market is getting so bullish right now. I'm expecting Bitcoin to really kick off over the next week or so, and then it will turn to the altcoins. And if Cardano can get in on that, things could get very good. But right now we are dependent on this release coming out. On a better front as well, I did cover in a video earlier this week the SpaceBuds NFT marketplace. So SpaceBuds brought out a smart contract based marketplace that you can interact with the Nami wallet. So I stepped through how to do that. You can actually go in and bid on the NFTs, or you can buy them, and it's the smart contract that holds custody. So great to see this step so far, and hopefully within the next few weeks we will see others following along as well. So they do talk in this video as well. I don't think there was anything else major. They do talk about in it actually as well for what they're doing as well in their testing is they have built an NFT marketplace themselves, and they're using that as within their testing. So when the PAB goes live, they should be able to push that out into the marketplace as well. So we should have a full NFT marketplace, and I'm sure other marketplaces out there that are using a centralized approach right now are also working on their own solutions. So for now, all we can do is sit tight and wait to see what happens when the release is going to come out. As I say, I don't have an official date, but that is what we are getting from the development update. So then taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF. So that's the official papers, SEC and ProShares Trust. But right now it looks like the SEC approves Bitcoin ETF opening crypto to wider investor base. So yes, this is great news to see that after the last few years, I have been around a few years now, and we've had so many of these applications turned down. And it's great to be at the stage now where Bitcoin ETFs are getting approved. This is probably just going to be the first of many that are going to get approved. This one is based on futures. So it doesn't mean that they actually have to go out and own the Bitcoin. It's based on futures, which is slightly different. I might do a video diving into that and talking about what the difference actually is. but one that you can check out in the meantime is this one here from Real Vision, where they talk about, it's only a 2-minute video, but talks about where something like this is going to trade at a premium in a bull market, which I feel we are in right now, and then in a bear market the ETF is going to trade at a discount. So there's going to be lots of opportunities for big funds to arbitrage between them, or to effectively be incentivized to manipulate the price. At times they could be incentivized to come in and buy Bitcoin on the open market to help push the price up, because depending on the contracts that they have in the ETF, it could be in their interest for the price of Bitcoin to go up or down. So it's definitely going to bring a lot more of that side, but again, I'll dig into that in another video. Overall though, for me anyway, the negatives that it brings are definitely outweighed by the positive. This is the stepping stone to opening the crypto market up to some of the bigger funds out there as well. So what we want to see is pension funds in the US starting to allocate certain percentages into crypto, into Bitcoin at first. Look, we all like certain coins and everything like that, but Bitcoin is going to be the first one that a lot of these bigger institutions get into first, and then after that they will look to branch out as well. So anything at this stage that's good for Bitcoin will trickle down and will help the overall market, and I do feel that's the same for the price right now and over the next few weeks as well. Great to look at CoinGecko and see over the last 24 hours, basically everything looks to be in green, very few red there, and anything that is very small. So if we look at the actual chart here, you can see that Bitcoin is now trading at $61,500. Really great to see us back up here again. Yesterday at the peak of the run here, we hit nearly $63,000, so 62.8, 62.9 we'll say here on the peak. Pull back and now starting to get some, trying to get a foothold here in order to make the next leg up. So what's even better for me to see is this is on a 4-hour chart as well, so that it wasn't a huge shoot up and then start just red candles coming down off this. What this says to me is they're finding a base, they're finding lots of buying pressure here, and the Bitcoin price isn't finished going up yet. I would expect to see a new all-time high, if not, probably not over the weekend, but definitely by early next week, we will see a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Currently set on this chart anyway, it's just under $65,000. You'll see some other places saying 64, and generally the reason that there's differences in that is because on certain markets the price may shoot up a little bit higher than others, but I'm taking it at 65, and when we break that, that's when we hit the new all-time high for Bitcoin. And I would expect that once we break it, we make a very quick move to the upside before having a pullback. And look, these things always have to pull back. When we get the pullback, what you want to see is that the 65 is going to hold as the support level. If it does, that's extremely bullish. But as this progresses over the next week, I will look at that as well. If we look at the ADA price, take it as an example for, I suppose, all coins that are out there right now. You can see we've just been trending sideways. We've been in this range since the Cardano summit. We come down here. I still see that a very strong buying zone anytime we come down here for Cardano is $1.89 up to $2. Has been extremely strong support all in around here. So what I see is essentially more accumulation for Cardano. I'm going to have to move this out even further now because we're not getting dApps in October unless something crazy happens behind the scenes that I haven't heard about yet. And if there are any dApps launching before mid to end of November, please do reach out so I can get that information out there as well. But I see more trending sideways here, potentially moving to the upside as we trend sideways, but no real injection in the ADA price until we get closer to official releases of dApps, because that is what is going to show what is possible. As well as that, when we get the dApps, that's when we see more ADA locked up in smart contracts. We see lots more utility on chain. We'll see a lot more transactions as well. So until we see that, I'm not expecting any major moves. Now, in saying that, we could easily see us moving up to the 250 zone if Bitcoin does continue to the upside, because as Bitcoin rises, it's going to pull everything else as well. But the chart to look at, and the one that doesn't look so nice right now, is the ADA Bitcoin chart. And as always, this is the one that, in the big picture, this is the one that I keep an eye on, because if I look on the daily here, you can see we didn't hold the long-term uptrend for the ADA BTC price. When we came down and hit it here, we did get the bounce initially, but didn't hold it on this point. And right now, I do see this chart bleeding a bit more over the next few weeks. As I say, again, until, let's just push it out, not even official dates. Let's push it right out there because it's not happening here. I expect us to hopefully find a bottom in around here. If we can get our bottom in above 3,000 sats, that's where you would look to, because over here, that's where we got our support. And it lines up as well with the previous high back here. So if we can get our support in around that 3,000 sats, that's where I'd hopefully be looking to get the strong pressure for the ADA price. In general, a lot of coins are going to follow this. If we look here at, let's change this to Bitcoin. So this is the price against Bitcoin. So as you can see, most coins against Bitcoin have been suffering over the last week. And I don't expect this to change much within the next week. After that, then who knows what's possible. Polkadot is probably an outlier because they announced their parachain auctions are going to start in November. So Polkadot is one that can potentially run on its own right now, because there's going to be a lot of interest in picking up Polkadot to get involved in the parachains. So this one here is one of the few that I would think can outperform Bitcoin over the next week or so. It's going to be another few weeks before the others can do it, but inevitably by the end of the year, I do think that a lot of the altcoin, a lot of the bigger projects are going to outperform Bitcoin in terms of returns. Cardano being one of them, as long as we do stick to having the PAB and dApps out by the end of November. So I hope this has been of some value. If it has, as I say, share it out there. Give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next week, hopefully with a bit of a clearer head as well. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.